Travis Wingoodsell. So this kind of a day is the day the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints fears. It's the day when massive national world church news gets me lots and lots of beyond normal views. And right before conference, oops. YouTube had set me up to shut me up a month in advance, and then 2 weeks ago, oops. 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 So we got some comment reply videos, or comment replies to do for a video to add to the view count, as this typically probably won't get much, but I try to respond to anybody who has comments that need responding to, or who ask questions or something I need to point out. So we'll start from the beginning, before it was known that Nelson was dead, because it was only 2 hours later when Stanford sent a second reply saying Nelson fell permanently at 10 p.m., 10:01, shortly after 10 p.m. They wouldn't even be honest about the time. Now, if you don't know, the coroners, when they do an investigation of the death of somebody, they put the precise time of death, and they'll put it at whatever minute that they designate it to be. And so it's important, in case there's a potential crime involved, when the cops do an investigation, which is a requirement to make sure nobody, no foul play was involved. This was done for my grandmother when she died, done for my mom, most likely when she died. They had to make sure that my dad wasn't murdering her to get the insurance money so that he can pay for the quadruple bypass surgery that he just recently had. That kind of stuff. So, all right, so Stanford, the first commenter, whoops, wrong thing to do here. So it was on my Revelation 16 Armageddon prophecy from the Book of Mormon. Just incredible how I've been talking about it, going over it from the Book of Mormon, going over from Revelation 16, and then I just happened to be looking for the quote from Apollo's Temple from Sarah Connor Chronicles, and there it is. The Armageddon prophecy from the Egyptian documents. Unbelievable. So, now YouTube's got to be freaking out, wanting to shut me down and keep me from watching YouTube, because I need to be socially, behaviorally controlled. Bleep you. Back off and leave me alone. I just won't do it. So, Joseph Smith, or Stanford, it's been a long day, is quoting from section 124, verses 1 to 8. And he's talking about how the church needs to be proclaimed to the kings of the world, that they are going to fall, and they will need to be left without excuse for the day of visitation, when I unveil the face of my covering. So he then goes to Psalm 144, verse 12, that thy sons may be as plants grown up in their youth, that our daughters may be as cornerstones polished after the similitude of a palace. Is the interpretation correct? Did you not quote it? You said you did. Or do you mean translation? How does it? You said the word palace, and I recalled this sequence. What part, if any, of section 124 originates with Joseph? History is confusing, as the JSP papers says that this originates in the book of the law of the Lord, or Joseph Smith translate. I need to get to the scriptures here, I guess, to answer my questions. And okay, let's answer 124 first. 19 July 1841, Joseph Smith is commanded to make a solemn proclamation of the gospel to the President of the United States, the governors and rulers of all nations, Hiram Smith, David W. Patton, Joseph Smith Sr., and others among the living of the dead are blessed for their integrity and virtues. Bruce, Hiram's not dead yet. Joseph Smith Sr., I think, is. 19 January 1841. Joseph Smith Sr. Yeah, September 14th, 1840, Sr. died by poisoning. It's believed to be a sickness, but Danites love the poison there in NAUVOO. David W. Patton. Patton. 1838, October 25th. Huh. So, did you die because the Mormons abused you? He was killed at the Battle of Crooked Creek, and is regarded as a martyr by only those of the Church of Jesus Christ, Latter-day Saints, not the others. Wait, what? Okay, so I get to do a quick little church history research on David W. Patton, and we're going to need to obtain him for the records. In case you haven't been following my channel, you don't know about the types of videos I make, I'm well known. I think we need to do, it's not church news. We'll just dump it. Worry about filing things later. Which, oh, don't even get me started. Revelation 114, and posthumously. Hiram was not dead yet. Why are you putting Hiram in that list, Bruce? Okay, born to Benoni, name of my grandpa, Louis Benoni Goodsell, and then my dad, Wayne Lewis, and then me, Travis Wayne, and then my son, Clayton Travis. I knew the pattern. Moved to Theresa, New York, as a young child, 11th of 13 kids, is 6'1", dark complexion. As a youth, he moved to the town of Dundee in eastern Michigan. Ooh, yeah, we need to find out where Dundee is. Do we have a map here in Wikipedia? Oh, it's way south. It's like in the far lower tip. In that lower county on the southeast side. Okay, so far away from where the fire was today. The shooting. Married Phoebe Babcock in 1828. The two had one stillborn child. They had no children live to adulthood. Oh man. Patton allied himself with the local Methodists during this time. All while professing a belief that there was no true religion on earth. Whatever. Was that a Danite's journal entry of what they claim he said? Conversion, 1830. Patton heard about the publication of the Book of Mormon. He became greatly agitated and desired to see it. That summer he had an opportunity to read the preface to the testimony of the three witnesses that was attached to the book. Didn't read the book. 2 years later, Patton learned that his brother John had recently joined the Church of Christ. What church is that? Excited, David rode 300 miles to his brother's house in Fairplay, Indiana, to investigate the church. On June 15th, 1832, was baptized by his bro. Okay. "300 miles, huh? Okay, that's not what I want. Oh, Salt Lake City. Light traffic in this area. Typical conditions for a Sunday. Fairplay Township. 505 in 2020. It's a very small place to this day. Okay, so southwest from where the Michigan location was, but even further from where was it again? Oh, it's still in Michigan. I guess. Okay. So, interesting. They went far away from western New York, where his brother was, who apparently was able to baptize. Was his brother on a mission out there? Or is that his home? No, brother's house. So this is unusual. Most of the early converts to the church were around the New York area. Some were in Pennsylvania and into Ohio because they needed to get Sidney Rigdon in. But yeah, in 2 years they were all the way out into Indiana, huh? Interesting. Very interesting. Okay. So he joined after Brigham and Heber in April, but he's way out in Indiana. Brigham and Heber are in New York. Patton served several short missions. He was one of the first missionaries to the southern United States, where all of the Illuminati Scottish Rites fled to become Confederates. 2 days after his baptism, Patton was ordained by Elisha H. Groves. Soon after, sent on a mission to Michigan Territory. So he went back to home, in other words. Elisha S. H. Groves does not have authority to assign to the mission field. I don't care. Native of Madison, Kentucky, 1825, married Sarah Hogue, divorced in 1833. A year after joining the church on March 1st, 1832, by Calvin B. D. in Greene County, Indiana. Interesting. He was a Presbyterian. So was Indiana too far away that they were going rogue? Is the question that I have here. I joined the church early 1880, March. You paying attention to what you wrote? And was involved in missionary work in Kentucky, Tennessee, and Missouri. Served as a missionary with Morris Phelps. Okay, they're going 2 by 2 as Joseph Smith instructed. Calhoun County, Illinois, in 1834. So that's when Joseph Smith changed the name of the church, and 1 year before officially setting up the Quorum of the 12 for Thomas B. Marsh to be the one in charge of sending out people to where they go, and they return and report so that they have, like a map. And we got a church now here in this location, we got a church here in this location, okay, you need to go to this location now to set up a church there, that kind of thing. So Adam on Diamond, Thomas B. Marsh is like, Adam on what? Where? Where Benjamin Franklin Johnson went and was arrested, threatened by a hooligan to deny the church of Jesus Christ. Exactly. And so, yes, going 2 by 2 in 1834, he was doing it correctly. But I'm not seeing how he could have done it correctly prior to. Let's see if we can find 2 by 2 when Joseph Smith gave that. 2 by 2. Okay. $52. Let them go 2 by 2. Preach by the way in every congregation. Okay, section 52, which was 1831. Yeah, Indiana went rogue. See how easy it is to figure all this out? Indiana went rogue. And so then they were called to repentance by 1834. Married Lucy Simmons. When not on missions, lived in Kirtland, Ohio, because that's where the church was, the headquarters anyway, for a time, and then moved to Caldwell County, Missouri, 1836, yeah, and to Davies County in 1838. There we go. There we go. There we go. Ding, 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 ding. We have ourselves a Danite. And thus, David W. Patton was brought in as a Danite. He ain't no martyr. He's a terrorist. Hilarious. So, yeah. There we go. So, if we scroll down to 1838, he was persecuted by mobs while establishing branches of the church. 1834, that's when he finally went 2 by 2 with Warren Parrish. Let's see, one of the original apostles of the Church of the Latter-day Saints. What church is that? February 15th, 1835, I told you so. By Oliver Cowdery. Until his death in 1838. February 10th, 1838, Thomas B. Marsh and Patton were called to serve as presidents pro tempore of the church in Missouri until the president of the church, Joseph Smith, and his counselor, Sidney Rigdon, returned. No. Who put this crap in here? P.H. Roberts? You mean B.S. Roberts? The Standing High Council steps in. Dear God, it's right there in the scriptures. B.S. Roberts, what a dear God. That's funny. Patton was appointed to be Marsh's assistant. Fellow apostle Brigham Young also served as an assistant to Marsh. They weren't members. They weren't assistants. Is this BH again? It is BS again. The scriptures say they're in there as quorum of the 12. They're not assistants to Thomas B. Marsh. What kind of crap is this? Captain Fear Not. God. So, Section 114, delivered April 17th, 1838, is directed to Patton, which he was called to serve another mission. Section 115, 16, 17, 18, and 19 are all forged documents. Whoops. We'll just make up our own church history. Just make it up. So, you're not in this file. You should have been in this file that I quickly left. There you are. See, 1838. That would not have made it in the 1835 Doctrine and Covenants, obviously. So let's find out when Section 114 was put in by Brigham Young. Would have been 1844 or 1876. Not 1844. It is indeed 1876. With the other forged documents, along with Section 113. So this is now a red flag that Section 114 is likely a forged document, along with Section 113. So we'd have to check. So Section 113 claims to be by Joseph, March 1838. And is him explaining Isaiah chapter 11, which he refers to in his Joseph Smith history in 1838. We can trust this. Yeah, because that's all it is. 114 is 1 month after. They don't give the day for 113. Interesting. I thought you'd put them all in, Bruce. And so, church positions held by those who are not faithful shall be given to others. This looks like it could justify why Brigham Young wanted to put in other people into the 12. When Joseph was in Liberty Jail, so that Brigham Young could take over as president of the church in Joseph's absence, instead of the standing council of 12 high counselors. So it is wisdom in my servant David W. Patton that he settle up all his business as soon as possible as can, and make a disposition of his merchandise, that he may perform a mission unto me next spring, in company with others, even 12, including himself, to testify of my name, bear glad tidings unto all the world. Verily thus saith the Lord, inasmuch as there are those among you who deny my name, others shall be planted in their stead, and receive their bishopric. Bishopric? That's an awkward usage for an apostle. Section 115 is a forged document. The name of the church. Oh, we just exposed another forgery. April 26, 1838. 9 days later. Section 114, confirmed as a forged document. This is fun. Thank you, Stanford. So, 124. As it includes David W. Patton as having deceased in 1838, but not Hiram. And so that is weird that they put Hiram in there. No, not Samuel. That was 1844. He was murdered by poisoning. So Joseph Smith Sr., but you have him listed. Don Carlos also was 1840. Yeah. So maybe it was supposed to be Don Carlos if there's supposed to be dead people here in 15 to 21. But does it have baptisms for the dead? Baptisms for the dead, 29 to 36. And so, yeah, this is a forged document. It is the Danites, because of Adam-on-Diamond and their threat to coup the government in the latter days for Armageddon, as Joseph said in 1838's history. They that come shall burn them, saith the Lord. So if you think it's literal history and that Jesus appeared to him, then it's not Jesus that's coming to burn people in the latter days, but a group of Christians who will do it and claim Jesus is doing it. Right, Oaks? I mean, President Oaks? Invalid. And so the concept for baptisms for the dead is for the first resurrection at the coming of Jesus' burning of everybody, as Oaks also makes it very clear that Jesus will come and destroy the wicked, and the righteous will be resurrected. And thus the importance of temple work and baptisms for the dead, which can only be done by those who are worthy by having paid up on tithing. Baptisms for the dead. The extortion racket with the threat of death. So yes, William Morgan was among the first group to be baptized for the dead, which means they knew. I refer you to Heber C. Kimball under Masonry. He lied, but in lying, he reveals the truth about what he knows and why everybody else is wrong. Even the church now, who changed the story and changed Wikipedia on this, that Joseph Smith Sr. was the Master Mason at Canandaigua Lodge, Ontario County, number 23. Yep. Cover up and hide. And there's William Law, who's also a troublemaker. It's been a long time since I talked about him. And then Hiram Smith is called to be the patriarch. Yeah. So they're throwing in the actual account of Hiram Smith becoming the patriarch and putting in the different people who are in the quorums in section 124 here. As Joseph or Hiram, go to 84. Setting up a golden calf for the worship of my people. Almond Babbitt, huh? Ah, I knew a Babbitt. She tried setting me up with another woman in the older singles ward with a dinner activity party thing that she held. She invited me, and invited her separately, and then didn't tell me until I got there that she invited the other woman and assigned her to sit with me. Needless to say, it was a failed attempt anyway. You can't set me up. No blind dates, no setting up. You can't, no, you don't know me. Don't do that. Don't help me. I know when a woman is interested, and they're just not interested. You know, a woman who's interested makes it very obvious she's interested. And when she's not interested, yeah, it's very obvious she ain't interested. Leave her alone. So yeah, apparently Almond Babbitt setting up a golden calf. Interesting. In section 124, very interesting, Brigham. Very, very interesting that you would do that. Now we'd have to go and check on Almond Babbitt to see if he was being framed and blamed by Brigham, which could have been the case. They love to do that to those who denied the name. The sickness of the land shall return to your glory. Okay, there was a sickness during that time. What year was this again? 1841? You mean the poisoning that you guys were doing? That sickness? Interesting. So Hiram isn't even anywhere in here, Bruce. We get to 91 where Hiram finally is mentioned and the wrong spelling of the name. My servant Hiram, and my servant Hiram may take the office of priesthood and patriarch, which was appointed unto him by his father, by blessing and also by right, that from henceforth he shall hold the keys of the patriarchal blessings upon the heads of all my people, that whosoever he blesses shall be blessed, whosoever he curses shall be cursed, whatsoever he bind on earth shall be bound in heaven, loose on earth, loose in heaven, become a prophet, a seer, revelator unto my church, as well as my servant Joseph. And yeah, they only refer to 107.92 for Joseph. There's the other passage. Why are you not referring? Oh, I see a 132 reference from 93. But on earth, they're trying to, Bruce is trying to say that that's marriage. But again, Brigham, you have no authority over any of this. Who shall show him the keys whereby he may ask and receive and be crowned with the same blessing, glory and honor and priesthood, and gifts of the priesthood, once put on the servant Oliver Cowdrey. Record. Honorable William Law, also to receive the keys by which he may ask. Yeah, no, forged document. No. Poisonous serpents, yep. Sickness, huh? See, this is why they poisoned members of the church who were faithful. This is verse 98. And these signs shall follow those who are righteous. He shall heal the sick. Brigham Young's wife died. He joined the church anyway. He shall cast out devils. He shall be delivered from those who would administer unto him deadly poison. Yeah, this is definitely a forged document. That's why they poisoned the righteous members of the church. So that they can laugh and go, see, they are not righteous, they are not true. they led in paths where the poisonous serpent cannot lay a hold upon his heel, and he shall mount up in the imagination of the thoughts upon eagle's wings, that he should raise the dead. Yeah, this is very evil as I'm going over this here. Very, very evil. 111. Let my servant Amos Davies pay stock into the hands of those, not the bishop, whom I have appointed to build a house for boarding, even the NAUVOO house. Say 1841. Yeah, this is also, Brigham Young had fled the country by then. Isn't that what I did the whole license forgery thing on? Wasn't it 1841 or 1840 or something like that, after Joseph Smith came in 1839 to condemn them? Brigham Young was gone to Europe. I think this is, yeah, interesting. Interesting. Joseph Hiram and William Law into the authorities, which I have called to lay the foundation of Zion. You mean the Council of 12, standing council? Let no man pay stock to the quorum of the NAUVOO house. The quorum of the NAUVOO house? What the hell are you talking about? The quorum of NAUVOO house? It's all of the NAUVOO house is to receive money. Pay stock, pay stock, pay stock. NAUVOO house, NAUVOO house, NAUVOO house. Just recompense of wages for all their labors doing the building of the NAUVOO house. And let their wages be as shall be agreed among themselves as pertaining to the price thereof. Pay stock. There is proportion of their wages. What was this NAUVOO house supposed to be? Wasn't this Brigham Young or Joseph Smith's eventual home? It's in Rexburg. Google wants to know my exact location. You know my IP address already. You already know my exact location. Bleep you. Get away from me. NAUVOO house, Wikipedia. A boarding house. So were you building a brothel? Never completed. Converted into a residential home and renamed the Riverside Mansion. Okay, so Joseph never, no. Yeah, they're claiming the revelation in 1841 that I'm reading. They were building a brothel. Prostituting of women. Unbelievable. After Smith's death, Emma retained the title to the NAUVOO house, but it never got finished. When the majority of the saints left NAUVOO in the late 1840s, the house was still only partially completed. 1870s, Emma and her husband converted into a smaller structure called the Riverside Mansion, or also called the Bitterman House. He raised portions of the original structure for materials to have a stable. Yeah, that doesn't say what this was supposed to be for other than prostitution. Unbelievable. So what was the house that Joseph Smith lived in then? It must be another house then. Interesting. So yeah. Never finished? Interesting. Because they could have, which also suggests that the building of the NAUVOO temple was the replacement. Okay, we need to get this for the records. Unbelievable. Man, these Danites are corrupt. David W. Patton. Patton is reportedly the source of a story which has become part of Mormon folklore, you mean myth, as related by Abraham O. Smoot after Patton's death. Patton says he encountered a very tall, hairy, dark-skinned man in Paris, Tennessee, who said that he was Cain. Ta-da. Yep. Danite lie. Danite lie. The account states that Cain, son of Adam from the Bible, had earnestly sought death, but was denied. Yeah. Danite. And again, has to do with baptisms for the dead. They screwed up Bible interpretation. But this is the first sighting of Bigfoot. In South Weber, Utah. Are you sure it wasn't the three Nephites? Oh my God. And so, let's see. The state militia obtained 3 Mormon men. Got to fix their wording here because they're vindicating the enemy. On October 24th, 1838, in response, Patton led a group of Mormon men to retrieve those taken. Before daybreak on the 25th, Mormon militia approached the ford where the state militia was camped. A Mormon guard who goes there, Mormons. The shot hit Patrick O'Banion, one of Patton's guides, and mortally wounded him, crying, "God and liberty." Patton ordered a charge. Patton was serving as commander. The militia group was shot in the bowels. 3 men who had been held by the state militia were rescued nonetheless. October 24th. So now I need to remind myself of when for scriptures. Thomas B. Marsh. Come on. October 24th, 1838 for Orson Hyde. October 24th. Yeah, they gave this October 24th. And you're claiming when again? October 27th. No, that's unmarked grave. October 24th, 3 men were taken. Yeah, this was the same day when Thomas B. Marsh and Orson Hyde gave their affidavit to the governor of Missouri. And here they were. Unbelievable. Well, this is how you do research. Okay, so yeah, section 124 is a forged document. Just awful. So if for some reason it made it in my first draft of the complete works of Joseph Smith, I will need to have it removed along with section 114, apparently. 114 will also need to go. But yeah, they do list those who were of both the Standing High Council and the Quorum of the 12. And that's why, well, it says open up the authority of my kingdom. So, yeah, worded carefully rather than saying hold the keys of the kingdom. But they know very well the High Council is the cornerstone of Zion. They put it in there. Dear God. Unbelievable. Okay. Wait, no, Don C. Smith is still alive to be president over a quorum of high priests. So Don C. Smith was not dead in 1840 with Senior. Didn't he die soon thereafter, though? Don Carlos Smith, LDS. August 7th, 1841. Yeah. So when was this again? January 19th. Yeah. So he died later that year by poisoning also. Yep. Quorum of the High Priest. Just incredible. All right. So with that, unbelievable. Okay. Probably should have made sure I got Don Carlos. Oops. So what else are you talking about? No. None of it originates with Joseph Smith. History is confusing. So the Book of the Law, I never got that answer, did I? Joseph Smith Papers. So there's William Law. Because of the increasing persecution, public officials, saints being compelled to leave Missouri, extermination order of Lilburn Boggs, Governor of Missouri, October 27th, 1838, left them no alternative. 1841, when this revelation was given, the city of NAUVOO, occupying the site of the former village of Commerce, Illinois, had been built up by the Danites. Here the headquarters of the church had been established with a brothel. Bastards. And this is where a lot of Mormons say that Independence, Missouri is not the temple anymore for Zion in the latter days, because in 45 to 55 the saints are excused from building the temple in Jackson County because of the oppression of their enemies. Directions given for the building of the NAUVOO house. You do know that Commerce Avenue was also Regent Street. Where the brothel was downtown. These Danites are just pure evil. Okay. So 144 and 12. Unbelievable. 144. After the similitude of a palace. No, you quoted it accurately. I think you're wanting the actual translation then. Because I mentioned palace. Okay, it's history confusing, book of law. Okay. So I think I answered your question because it doesn't tie into Psalm 144, therefore, because it is a forged document. We can check Psalm 144, see if there's anything that catches my attention with a summary overview. Oh. Notes. Interesting. Benot Yanu. Benenu. Interesting. So there's the two Jewish Masorite groups that use the different words for daughters. One of them was Bayet, and other is Bennett. And so Bayet has often been confused with house, as in Genesis's author, for the queen, as everybody wrongly claims that she is the daughter of Pharaoh, who gets to raise up a child all by herself without a husband. No, she's the queen. And so, yeah, that's why house and daughter are often confused. Isaiah also talks about daughters of Zion. It's 4, right? Nope, 3. Well, they do have, well, 4, filth of the daughters of Zion, but yeah, the tinkling, mincing as they go. Verse 16 in Isaiah 3. Let's check on that. Isaiah 4. So, which verse? Both of these are in the Book of Mormon, by the way, in case you didn't know. First four, yeah. Alright. Benot Zayon. No, Benot. He also uses Benot. So Psalm and Isaiah use Benot. So Genesis 5:4. Let's see if there's a multi-personality disorder. Benim and Benot. So it's Exodus. Oh my God, did I actually say Genesis? Humiliations galore. Exodus. Oh my hell. Pharaoh's daughter. There we go. Why didn't you tell me, guys? Chapter 2, verse 10. Been a long day. Give me a break. Pharaoh. Bat. Pharaoh. Yeah. There it is. And so it's house of Pharaoh. But people assume daughter. No, it's house. So, yeah. There's Ben for something. But I'm sure they use the wait a minute. 10 by Pharaoh. Yeah. Doing laundry today, the allergies kicked in for the wind. 2 Son and will proclaim the name Moshe. And will say, interesting. So, Ben. And he became her son. Interesting. Interesting. That is not in the translation. Okay. And that's it. Alright. So with 104, is there anybody else? Nelson fell, let's see, it's been posted. Nelson died. Grand Blanc, Michigan, LDS Church had a shooting. Church is burning. LDS Church in Grand Blanc, Michigan shooting and fire. Thank you, James. Yeah, here's, I need to address this, even though it's after an hour. Epic battle over truth of the Book of Mormon. I put in that video specifically how both of y'all are wrong. That Mormons say the Book of Mormon is true, and Exfo Nevermo say the Book of Mormon is false. The epic battle. And I said, you're both wrong. So Joe Schreier saw the title, saw the picture, and came to the video and put this dumbass comment and didn't even bother to listen to my video content. Nothing pisses me off more than people who pull this kind of a stunt. Seek first to understand, then seek to be understood. Especially when you come to my channel. If I go to yours, I'm responsible to understand you first before I'm understood. So yeah, it's the typical Exfo Nevermo crap. The Book of Mormon is false, as it pretty much everything they believe. It's nothing more than a giant cult. No, you didn't listen to my video. Unbelievable, unbelievable. So Abe Lincoln from 2008 is Ledger Perez. He had been here previously. This video that he went to was one of the older ones. LDS Church President Russell Marion Nelson, anti-Semite Christian nationalist. Very old video. He put the exact same quote that he did previous 2 times about a month ago, or at least a couple of weeks. The same exact quote. And he's demanding me to read Morut it. What the bleep is Morut it? It's the same word. For him to be using the same text, Abinadi's out of the dust testimony, all caps, and Abinadi all caps, quotes for out of the dust, against Mormon church leadership, favorite, abominable graven image, all caps, and Russell M. Nelson, starting all caps, a sensationalized second coming bandwagon, all caps, scam, all caps. Exact same comments that he'd put at least 2 weeks ago before this. And this, I think, was yesterday or the day before when I got this. I remembered him because of the Morat, whatever the bleep that is. The same typing error of word, whatever the hell that is. Maybe it's a legitimate word. Maybe I just look it up on Google and it'll say, oh yeah, it means read more about it. It's for text messaging code. But no, don't demand from me. You will get yourself banned. You know, if you want to know, fine. If you want to share, like Stanford did, that reminded me of this. And then, is Section 124 legitimate? And then I do a whole hour-long video to explain, nope. Ooh, a brothel in NAUVOO. There's Karen. And who are you to tell us what the prophet is going to announce? What gall! Karen Schroeder. Okay, and that's Stanford talking about Candace, and that's it.